This is Scott Mendes coming to you from the Celebrate Freedom Festival here at the Conquering the Beast demonstration. Man, what a great performance we just had a few minutes ago. I tell you what, with us here today is Pastor Kaycee Strong from Salina. Pastor, how are you doing?
Doing wonderful, man.
Man, I tell you what, you got a chance to announce with us today. We just got home. I know we're standing in Dallas, Texas here at South Fork. We just got done having an event, an outreach event. You know all the details of what went on behind the scenes, your church congregation, everything that went into that. I just wanted to ask for a few minutes if you would share with the viewers what that meant to you and what actually happened in your city 2 weeks ago.
Well, I'll tell you what, it was, of course, a lot of work, but with God's help, we were able to pull it off. My church is a real small church, about 25 people, members, and we have about 50 or so that come on Sunday. And with such a small church, they were pastorless, Scott, for 7 years. I got out there in October, and we were able to, God put you and I back together, and we were able to turn around and present this to the church, and they took a huge leap right outside of the box, which I was so proud of them to do. A lot of these members of this church are very traditional, very conservative, and they took a leap out of the box. And I was having to answer questions almost on a daily basis. Well, what if this doesn't happen? Or what if we don't have enough bull riders? Or what if the bull riders aren't that great? Or what if the bulls aren't that great? We know what happens here in Salina. PBR had a deal in Salina that didn't quite pull off what they wanted to do, and we were really kind of in that shadow for a while. Well, I finally just talked to them and said, look, we need to have faith in it. We need to talk and just pray about it and have faith in God, because God's going to take this and make this work. And as you know, you showed up there Thursday, that Thursday, and we started working on it real hard, man. Going to bed at 4, waking up at 6 in the morning, like the good old days. And when we turned around and put it on Sunday, we started off wonderfully. We had the church service, and I was actually going to preach, and God pulled me back and said no, and had you speak, and the Glory Riders, and Danny Hines was there. And Danny Hines stood up, and we had a few members that were missing. And I don't know if you remember, but he flat out just looked at me and he says, one thing you can tell your members is they just missed a mini revival right here in this little church. And that meant a lot. I don't think there's a dry eye in the church that morning, and we didn't even preach. We didn't preach about anything. All we did was give testimony and talk and love on one another, and that's how it started off the day. Then we went out there and just started working. I saw the church coming together like I've never seen them come together before. Through all the attacks of Satan. I mean, Satan was attacking us left and right through this thing, as you know, even all the way up until after the event, and continued on. But we know that when Satan does that, it's because we're doing something big for God. Every time we do something large for God, Satan's going to attack twice as hard. And if you have just that one little bit of faith missing, just 1% of faith missing, that gives the devil a 100% chance of coming after you. You got to have that 100% faith, and that's what I just kept telling the church. When it all came down to it, we had 30 bull riders. We had Reese Cates and Fernando Miguel, and Luke was there. Everybody was out there, and we had little brother was out there, brought bulls to us. Tony was out there, and as you know, I've known Tony and you since I was a tiny little one, running around. But I tell you what, my church saw a bull riding that lasted, I think it was 2.5 hours. And we were on it. I mean, the bulls just kept getting turned and turned and turned. There was no lag in the event. And we had, I don't even know how many people there, but we had people coming up to us after the event, during the event, just saying, wow, this is so neat. People just couldn't imagine all the things that we offered once they got into the gate between the Glory Riders. We had that Shiloh Branch Ministries giving free horse rides to people, and all these kids were riding. He said he probably gave about 200 horse rides that day, just right around the deal. And when good old Riley came out, Riley Israel came out from the power team. He come out and did all his stuff and pulled that altar call. My church was blessed. If you remember in the morning, that church told us that if there's one person that came to salvation, all the heartache, everything we went through, all the attacks with Satan was worth it. We witnessed, as you're my witness too, we witnessed 168 people come down out of those stands into that arena. 62 of those people filled out and confirmed salvation. We had so many salvation cards, I had to call other local pastors and say, hey, we're overloaded. We don't have any room for these people. We need them loved on. God wants them in a church. Can you please call these people? So we had to pass out some of those cards. And I'll tell you what, it was just a blessing to have everybody out there. Blessing to be working with you again. Just blessing all the way around, and God prevailed. through all the adversity, through all everything, God prevailed in that event.
Would you do it again?
Absolutely, in a heartbeat, man. I'm here, aren't I?
All right, yes you will.
I came down here. I'll
Excellent.
be here.
Thank you, Pastor Kaycee. We enjoy you.
We enjoy you. Love you very much.